Let's take a quick look at what happened at Trump taking questions with meeting the Polish president. Oh, I think it's just all questions. Hopefully. I don't want it to be just them conversing.
Thank you very much. It's a great pleasure to have President Nawrocki with us of Poland. He did a good job with that, right? Gave me a little different pronunciation. I said I want to get it perfect. Did I get it right?
Yeah.
Good.
Good. Yeah. Nawrocki.
I better get it right. And the president's been amazing. He had an incredible race. He came from behind and he won very handily. The people of Poland have taken to him immediately. They really love him. And there's great love and respect. He's a very successful man, but he went into a political hatchet, so to speak. It was a pretty tough race, pretty nasty race, and he beat them all, and he beat them all very easily. And now he's become even more popular as they got to know him and know him better. He's doing a really fantastic job, so it's an honor to. I also endorsed him, so I'm very proud of that. I don't endorse too many people, but I endorsed him, and I was very proud of that. The job he's done. I want to thank Vince Haley.
We
for
need a notepad for this. I don't think so. Right?
I appreciate it, and I can tell you who really appreciates it, Poland, because they're very happy with their president. And I just want to say it's an honor to have you. We'll be discussing trade and various other things, the things that you discuss. We'll have a few questions from you, and then we'll
that's
get
what
discussion.
He met with the Polish president for trade deals.
Say hello to the Pope for me.
Yeah, I will. Thank you very much. Thank you very much,
Mr.
President. Thank you very much, and I would like to express my gratitude for your invitation. Only after 1 month from my sworn and from celebration for my inauguration, it means that Polish-American relations are very important, very strong. I think that we have so strong relations that we have never had, and it's very important for me. Our relations are based, of course, on the values. Right? Thank you very much for your support, for your endorsement during my very hard campaign. I remember it, and I'm very grateful for your support. It was the fight me against others, so your support was very important. And the support of Polish people.
Apparently, Trump endorsed this guy to run for the Polish presidency, I guess.
Yeah, and in vast majority they voted also for me, so I would like to say hello to the Polish diaspora in the United States of America. Those relations for me, for Poland, for Poles are, and I think
who just passed away recently, who's a legend in Poland. You might want to say something about him.
Yes, of course, it was a terrific accident in Poland. Thank you for this gesture that F-35 opened our meeting.
Apparently, one of their top flyers passed away in an accident.
And he died. He lost 2 children, so it was a great tragedy.
He was a legend in Poland, actually. A legend as a pilot. He was an incredible pilot. And I think he went to the Air Force Academy, actually. But he was a fantastic pilot, and it was a big setback. The people of Poland are very, very sad. So we thought we'd do that. That was the single plane that swooped out.
And 35 American equipment.
Because of this relationship, it's a little special because we fought together. But we've always been very good, and we have some wonderful people, as you know. Duda, my friend, he's a good man, and still a big fan of yours, very much so. So it's a great honor, and we're going to talk about trade. We'll talk about some other things. We'll take a couple of questions from the media.
Questions, here we go.
Will American soldiers remain in Poland? Will American soldiers remain in Poland?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, do you know something I don't? I don't know. We're very happy. If anything, we'll put more there if they want. But they've long wanted to have a larger presence. We have some countries that have more, not too many, but no, they'll be staying in Poland. We're very much aligned with Poland.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, why would I don't think? Why would the why would the United States have any problem with Poland? Have done nothing to it.
What do you think they're conspiring to do?
A lot of the a lot of the Eastern EU nations have done nothing.
Well, I've already done that with regard to.
So I don't know why some of
a
these
truth last night. You saw that. And
guys are trying to antagonize it.
They're only doing this. They're looking to when they did what they did. I thought it was a beautiful ceremony. I thought it was very, very impressive. But I understood the reason they were doing it, and they were hoping I was watching, and I was watching. My relationship with all of them is very good. We're going to find out how good it is over the next week or two.
Yeah, most of the Eastern EU nations are fucking.
When they talk about,
they're already into they have NATO treaties already.
But I don't believe that America. That
they're already a part of the literal fold.
China to gain its freedom, but perhaps that was just that was a sleight of hand. I mean, I was very surprised. I watched the speech last night. President Xi's a friend of mine, but I thought that the United States should have been mentioned last night during that speech because we helped China very, very much.
What was it? They should have been invited, Mr. President. What was the President? Do you think they should have been invited?
Go ahead.
You've expressed many times your frustration and disappointment with Putin, but there's no action since you took your office.
How do you know there's no? How do you know there's no action? Really? Wait. Who are you with?
I'm with Polish radio.
Okay. How do you know there's no action? Would you say that putting secondary sanctions on India, the largest purchaser outside of China, they're almost equal? Would you say there was no action? That cost hundreds of billions of dollars to Russia. You call that no action? And I haven't done phase 2 yet or phase 3. But when you say there's no action, I think you ought to get yourself a new job, because if you remember, 2 weeks ago I said,
Yeah, it's
if
like,
India
what do you...
buys, India's got big problems, and that's what happens.
Well,
So don't
yeah,
tell me
it's like,
about it.
what do you want Trump to do in the... Right, he's not gonna fucking bombard India. Like, what? Like, what the fuck? Like, oh, we want you to start another war, Mr. Trump. Yeah, I mean, we want you to start a war, actually. We've never started anything.
But many of your friends and donors maybe, and he says that's why the Justice Department is redacting them and slow walking the release. Is the Justice Department protecting any friends or donors, sir?
So this is a Democrat hoax that never ends. You know, it reminds me a little of the Kennedy situation. We gave him everything over and over again, more and more and more, and nobody's ever satisfied. From what I understand, I could check, but from what I understand, thousands of pages of documents have been given, but it's really a Democrat hoax, because they're trying to get.
I mean, we
people to
already,
talk
or
about
I
something
already
that's
covered
totally
it last
irrelevant
time
to the success
yesterday.
that
Like
we've had as a
the
nation
information
since
we already got
even
yesterday,
if you look at
like
DC
all that
right now,
information
DC,
was
it's a
what
totally
we already
safe
know.
zone. It's called a safe zone. That's a
So
term.
it's like
a term
all
of
the
art.
what
It's
we
a safe zone
want
because
is
it's very
the
safe. You can walk down the street
fucking
now and nothing's
right.
gonna
We
happen.
want the
And
shady
no crime, no murders,
motherfuckers
no
that were
nothing.
on that
'Cause we had a
fucking
lot of
island doing
problems
shady
with
shit.
certain places, and we still do. All run by Democrats, or for the most part, run
Right,
by
we want those
Democrats.
fucking
So what they're trying to
bastards
do,
that were
is
fucking doing
get
some
people to talk
horrific
about that
shit.
Instead of speaking about the tremendous success, like ending 7 wars. I ended 7 wars. Nobody's going to talk about, because they're going to talk about the Epstein, whatever. I understand that we were subpoenaed to give files, and I understand we've given thousands of pages of files. And I know that no matter what you do, it's going to keep going. And I think it's enough, because I think we should talk about the greatness of our country and the success that we're having. I think we're probably having, according to what I read, even from 2 people in this room, we're having the most successful 8 months of any president ever. And that's what I want to talk about. That's what we should be talking about, not the Epstein hoax.
When should you make a decision on Ukraine, Mr. President?
Why not? Redacted, sir.
I have no message to President Putin. He knows where I stand, and he'll make a decision one way or the other. Whatever his decision is, we'll either be happy about it or unhappy. And if we're unhappy about it, you'll see things happen.
Venezuela, can you give us a sense of what the U.S. policy or what you're trying to achieve with the aircraft carriers, or the boats, I should say, in near Venezuela, and also the boat that you mentioned yesterday? Where
talking about the fucking boat you just
On the boat, you had
fucking
massive amounts of drugs. We have
missile.
tapes of them speaking. There was massive amounts of drugs coming into our country to kill a lot of people.
Yeah, I don't.
And,
So I don't know what
everybody
kind of
understands
system
that.
they.
Like you
So
see-
they
see
could
the
have
bags of
used a
drugs all over the
missile
boat. And they were hit.
to
Obviously,
blow
they
up the
won't be
boat,
doing it
or they
again, and I
used
think lot of
a
other people won't be
drone.
doing it again when they watch that tape. They're going to say,
I think they
"Let's
used
not
a
do
missile
this.
because
We
they
have
have
to
the
protect our
gunships
country, and
right
we're going
there.
to." Venezuela's been a very bad actor.
So it's
They've been,
either
as
a
you know,
missile or drone.
They've been sending millions of people into our country, many of them Tren de Aragua, some of the worst gangs, some of the worst people anywhere in the world in terms of gangs. And we had some in Washington, D.C. We took care of them very quickly, but they're out of here. They've gone. But Venezuela's been very bad, both in terms of drugs and sending some of the worst criminals anywhere in the world into our country. They emptied out, you don't know this, but they emptied out their prisons in Venezuela, and they emptied them out into the United States of America. And that's part of the problem we have. We're getting them out rapidly, but it's caused a tremendous problem. And Pete and all of the people that are working very hard to rectify the stupidity of the Biden administration, allowing these people to pour into our country with open borders. We are paying a big price as a country for the incompetence of the Biden administration. But think of it. Opened up prisons, drug dealers, drug lords, everything coming out of Venezuela. They said, and we said, we're not going to put up with it anymore. So Venezuela's been one of the worst actors. In the
Yeah, also the people asking like, "Oh, why did Trump immediately bomb these people?" No, he didn't immediately bomb them. When you guys are running these operations of hunting down fucking criminals, right? Literally bounty hunting people. You tend to keep a lot of information, or you try to keep a lot of information on these people.
whole group, and we have a group of pretty bad actors.
Are you wanting to force the
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. At the end of this month, the government or the Congress has to pass a budget. Do you think we can avoid a government shutdown?
Yeah, I do. I think the Republicans will vote
Especially
for an
when
extension.
some of
We
these
won't have
people
any
are trying to
Democrat
do
votes.
you
We could give
harm.
the greatest budget ever.
Right. It's
Tax
best to
cut of
keep a
50%,
close eye on it.
everybody taken care of. Perfect for women, perfect for men, perfect for minorities, perfect for everything. And we wouldn't get one vote for the Democrats because they've lost their mind. They are so deranged. They have Trump derangement syndrome. And I don't want to burn the Republican Party with it, but they really are. They've become almost sick. They actually think there is a disease. It's called Trump derangement syndrome. They've got it. No matter what we did, no matter how good, you could give them everything that they've ever dreamed of, and you wouldn't get one vote. These are sick people, and I think we're going to have a tremendous midterm. We just approved the largest tax decrease in the history of our country. We have
Sick
things where you
people.
think of it: no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security for our seniors.
I
no
give
tax
them
on
everything
overtime,
they want.
deductions when you buy a car and you borrow money to buy a car. First time they've ever seen anything like this.
Make them
Middle income
happy and
people get
rich.
deductions. You get a deduction.
But
when you
they
buy a car.
all
Nobody's
think
ever
I'm a
seen. And by
sick
the way, they're selling
person.
cars like crazy. Cars are pouring back because of the fact that we have tariffs. Cars are pouring back into our car plants are pouring back into our nation. They're coming from all over the world. They're coming back. We lost about 54% of automobile manufacturing over a 30-year period, 35-year period. They're all coming back. I think they're coming back higher than ever before. We have AI going up. What we've done is amazing, and what we've passed is amazing. But the Democrats, I don't believe, will get one vote. It's very anti-crime. We want anti-crime. They're in favor of crime. We're against crime. They gave us things like men playing in women's sports, open borders for everybody, transgender for everybody. I mean, they want a transgender for all of the crazy things that they were saying. And, people would say they're 80-20 issues. I say they were 97-3. I would say 97-3, and nobody knows who the three are. This is the best issue of all. They are against preventing crime. They are fighting us. I want to go into Chicago and have this incompetent governor that doesn't want us. Do you know that this weekend 72 people were shot in Chicago? I'm embarrassed to say
Mayor
it in front of the
Brandon
president of
Johnson.
Poland. 11 people were killed. 72 people were shot. Last week, 7 people were killed in Chicago.
Oh yeah,
place which
the
is probably
fucking
your number one place.
literally the 1 week crime
We gotta keep
spree
it
of
safe.
just
But
people
7
getting
people were
shot
killed.
up.
The week before that, 5 people were killed and 21 people were shot. This is in 3 weeks. So in 3 weeks, I lost almost 35 people were killed. It could have been stopped. If you look at Washington, D.C., 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, LA
it was
actually had
the same or
something
worse.
like that happen
And now
too
it's
down
considered
in
a
South
totally
LA.
safe zone.
There's
Restaurants are open,
literally
they're bustling. Restaurants, you have to see, restaurants were dying.
like some
Nobody wanted to
I
go out.
guess
They
it
didn't want to be
was
attacked. They didn't
literally
want to be
like
mugged.
gang
They didn't want to be
members or
attacked
some
even in the
shit
restaurants.
fucking around and they
you take a
kept
look at what's
gadding
happened.
people.
Friends of mine that haven't gone to a restaurant in 4 years, one of them went out 5 times in the last 2 weeks to a restaurant with his family. They feel totally safe. Washington, D.C. is a totally safe city. You're not reporting any crime because there is
I don't
none.
know if they even
said
caught
crime
the
is
guy
down
yet.
87%, and I said, no, it's not. It's
We
down
should probably
100%.
look into that.
We have a great thing going. I could do that with Chicago. We could do that with New York. We could do it with Los
Pretty
Angeles.
sure they haven't
So
caught
we're
the
making
guy
a
yet down
determination
in
now.
South
Do we go
LA.
to Chicago, or do we go to a place like New Orleans, where we have a great governor, Jeff Landry, who wants us to come in and straighten out a very nice section of this country that's become quite tough, quite bad. So we're going to be going to maybe Louisiana, and you have New Orleans, which has a crime problem. We'll straighten that out in about 2 weeks. It'll take us 2 weeks.
Basically
Easier than
calling
DC,
out all the
but we can straighten out
states
Chicago.
that have
All they
crime
to do is ask
issues.
us, to go into Chicago, we don't have the
And
support
notice how a
some these
bunch of these
politicians,
states
but I'll
were
tell
all
you
like,
what's
"Oh no,
supporting
we
us, the
don't
people
have
of
we don't
Chicago."
have a crime
And I don't
issue.
want
No,
them
no, the president's
to
out
let
of
it
his
be known.
mind. He's
They have incompetent
wild.
people. A guy like Gavin Newsom, he's the governor of a state that if we didn't go in,
He's
if we didn't go into
lying.
Los Angeles with our soldiers, with our National Guard, you wouldn't even be having the Olympics there. They were going to take it. And remember this, your top law enforcement officer in Los Angeles said, there's no way we could have done this without President Trump coming in with the troops. We saved Los Angeles and we saved the Olympics. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Andrew. Thank you. Mr. President, in regards to Gavin Newsom, would you be open to a congressional investigation in regards to the specific Palisades fire where it killed 12 seniors to see if there's any negligence on Gavin Newsom or Karen Bass in regards to those guys?
Well, I'll tell you, there's negligence on not getting people permits. That is negligent. We got all of the federal permits. Lee Zeldin. The federal permits are much more difficult. They were all gotten within 30 days. People.
Oh, is this about the California fire stuff?
They are allowed to build the house. And Karen Bass is grossly incompetent. And Newsom,
Correct.
he's
I don't
just
think
a very
they're
incompetent
right. I
guy.
think they're still
I'll
having
sit with the
issues
heads and
with
say, "What's going on
that
with the heads?"
area.
There's something wrong
Right.
with. There's something wrong with them. You watch him.
They still haven't been able to rebuild their
More
shit.
importantly, he didn't allow the water to come from the Pacific Northwest. You know, they have tremendous amounts of water in California. People don't know. They send the water out to the Pacific Ocean. So I demanded it be open. If that were open during the fire, before the fire, you wouldn't have had the fire because all the sprinklers would have worked in the houses. They had no water. They had no water in the fire hydrants. You wouldn't have had the fires. It would have been put out after one house, two houses. But he stopped the water from coming in. And I had to send in the military to have that water open after the fires. And now they have water, but he should have more because they've restricted, they still restricted. There's something wrong with these people. There's something really wrong. As to investigation, I view it as a gross incompetence. I view it as an ideology that's wrong. It's a radical left ideology. And if I didn't win this election, I think our country would be destroyed. I don't believe you'd be here right now, and our country would be destroyed. Yeah.
Go ahead. Thank you, sir. What are the most important branches of interest between Poland and U.S. in your opinion?
Well, it's just the relationship we have. I think there's a great trust and a great, more than most countries, more than almost any countries. We have some in a category that's very special, and Poland is in that category. We have a very special relationship. It's like the question about the soldiers that was asked. We never even thought in terms of removing
Poland
soldiers from
relationship
Poland.
with
We do
U.S.
think about it
very
with regard to other
special.
countries, but we would never. No, we're with Poland all the way, and we will help Poland protect itself.
I would like to add something. Yeah, of course, security is most important also for our relation. And I'm a historian, as you know, maybe.
Remember that one time Ukraine tried to lie about sending a missile into Ukraine?
In the 21st century, that the Poles are happy
I remember.
that we have foreign soldiers in Poland. So the American
And then
soldiers
tried to
are
blame
the
it on.
part of our society.
But did they try to
Nowadays, we
blame
have
it on
almost
Russia?
10,000 soldiers, and this is the signal to the whole world and also to the Russian Federation that we are together, but we are not like the Poland free riders in Europe and in NATO. Mr. President Trump knows it because our GDP for military service achieved 4.7, so we are probably the one NATO nation which is on this level, and we will not stop. Me, as the president of Poland, we are going to achieve 5% of GDP for military service, but with American soldiers on Polish soil, we solidify and we are secure.
Just about that. You know, Poland was one of two nations that paid more than they were supposed to with NATO. I don't know if anyone knows that, but there were two nations, and Poland paid more than they were supposed to. They thought it was low. And by the way, since then, at my request, they've raised it from 2% to 5%. But Poland was one of two nations that paid more than they were supposed to, which was a very nice thing. Yeah.
You were not invited to the parade in Beijing.
Never even thought about it until just now. Never even thought. It wouldn't have been my place to be there.
Will you visit a restaurant in D.C.? You haven't gone to.
I might, sure.
You haven't gone to one in either of your terms that wasn't.
How do you know? How do you know?
Because I and many other.
Do you want me to prove you wrong? Do you want me to prove you wrong?
Yes, please.
But I will. I think it's something we could consider doing. Love to do it. I love the White House food, but after a while, I can see going to a nice restaurant. It's safe. If you would have said, like, the Governor Moore wanted me to go and walk through Baltimore with him, and I said, you know, I think I'm a brave guy, but there's no reason to be stupid. They have crime that's at levels that nobody's ever seen before in Baltimore. They've done a terrible job. We go into Baltimore, straighten it out very quickly, too. You know why? They respect our soldiers. You see our soldiers. They respect our soldiers. We'd go there, too. But we're going to have people asking us to go. They're going to want to. And I think the people of those places the politicians are not in tune with the people. The people in Chicago, the people in Baltimore, the people in all of the places we talk about, they want to see us there. And I think we're pretty much waiting until we get asked. And probably. Because we're doing them a big service. Yeah.
I mean, there is definitely a sentiment where, right, some people don't believe, right, their own politics.
Possible. Someday it's possible. It used to be. So if you go back to 1913 is when they ended tariffs. We were the richest ever from 1850. It was all tariffs. We didn't have income taxes. From 1850 to 1913. In the 1887s, about 1887, they had the Great National Tariff Act. And it was a group of people that got together because our country was so rich, they didn't know what to do with the money. We had so much money, they didn't know what to do. It was a group of very prominent people that were set up to hand out money to everybody because we were the richest we ever were. Proportionately, we were in 1887, around that time, even in 1913. We ended them in 1913. How did that work out? And then we went to the income tax system, and then we had the Depression. And by the way, a lot of people try and say that, tariffs with the Depression. No, they ended in 1913, and then we went to income tax, and then in 1929 you had the Depression. They did try and bring it back in 1931-32, but the Depression had long started, and this poor, beautiful nation was gone. It was gone. We suffered for 25 years. It took 25, 30 years to really recover from the Depression. And we don't ever want to see that happen again. The tariffs are vital to the success of this country. When I say I ended 7 wars, at least half of those wars were ended because of the power of tariffs. I was able to say, well, we're not doing any business with you, or if you're going to war, we're putting a big tariff on you. And all of a sudden they announced that the war was settled. I settled 7 different wars, one going 31 years. Look at the Congo and Rwanda. Look at that. 31 years, 10 million people dead. I got it settled. And a little bit of that one, less than in some cases, had to do with trade and had to do with tariffs. So, tariffs are vital to our country. And just so you know,
I'm the one who settled these wars and conflicts. 7 conflicts I've settled. Iran and Rwanda,
we would be a very
India,
poor nation,
Pakistan,
and we would be taken advantage of by
Iran.
every other nation in the world, friend and foe. We're not going to let that happen. And we have a very, very big case in the Supreme Court. I can only say this. Our country has a chance to be unbelievably rich again, but it can also be unbelievably poor again. If we don't win that case, our country is going to suffer so greatly.
What's the backup plan, sir?
But I think we're going to have a big victory. Even if you look at the people that brought the case, they're
Oh,
foreign
we're
oriented.
winning.
They're foreign. Countries have taken advantage of the United States for so many years. And I started with China. Last term, I took in hundreds of billions of dollars in tariffs from China. But when COVID came, the last thing I was going to do is we're going to tariff France and Italy and, others, Spain, where they were doing so badly. But now we made a deal with the European Union where they're paying us almost $1 trillion. And they're happy to do it. You know what? They're happy. It's done. These deals are all done. I guess we have to unwind them. We've done deals with Japan, with South Korea. We've done deals with many countries and others to come. And if we didn't have the power, prestige, and dignity of tariffs, and I used them wisely, and people respect America again, and we become a rich country again. The money coming in is incredible. And again, they use them on us. If we didn't have them, they would use them on us, and we would have no way to fight them. We would be a third world nation. So I think it's one of the most important cases I've ever seen go before the Supreme Court of the U.S.
You take everything from them, and you leave them nothing.
Well, I'm having a conversation with him very shortly, and I'll know pretty much what we're going to be doing. We've taken very strong action, as you know, and in other ways we've taken very strong action.
Right, as they tried to take everything from you and leave you nothing, you do it to them, because they did it first.
7,819 people killed last week.
Get
Russian
what you
soldiers
deserve.
and Ukraine soldiers, right? Not American soldiers.
If you want to continue that fucking Ouroboros cycle of eating each other, hey, so be it, bitch.
The parents never see them again. That's the end of it. Over a stupid war. And I want to see it stopped. Now, we have stopped the money. We send weapons to NATO. They pay full price. We don't, Biden spent $350 billion so stupidly. And it was one of the reasons that this whole thing happened. A big reason this war happened was sitting right in these chairs, this one in particular. So I will tell you that I think we're going to have a good solution. But they're losing soldiers at levels that nobody has seen since the Second World War. This is the worst conflict, and it's just going on and on. It's one's defense, one's offense. The offense moves a little bit, just a little bit. You take a look. They move inches. They're dropping bombs and killing everybody. The whole thing is not since the Second World War has there been anything even close to this. And they're not, again, they're not soldiers from my country. This is my country. But I have a power to end things. That's why I was able to end 7 other wars. And you know that I thought of the 7, they're basically 7. Those are tough wars to end. Much tougher, I thought, than the war with Ukraine and Russia. I thought that Ukraine and Russia, I have a very good relationship with President Putin. I thought that would be much easier. I thought that would be in the middle of the pack, maybe one of the easiest. Sometimes you never know with war. War is a very interesting thing. You never know with war. War is complex and dangerous, and what a mess, what a bloody mess. It's going to get done one way or the other. But they have to stop killing all of these souls. They're souls, and we have to stop killing them.
There is Mr. President Trump with his talks with the Polish president. Yeah, there we have it. Not much I can say. I mean, he just went over a lot of stuff, right? Went over trade deals, went over how he stopped a bunch of wars. Talked about the Venezuelan stuff. Yeah, talked about, what else did he talk about?
Competent people, a guy like that.
Oh yeah, the crime rate. Yeah, the crime rate in certain states. The tariff stuff a little briefly. Right. Yeah, that was about it, right? I think it was mainly he was just talking to the Polish president for trade deals, or he went kind of light on right, talking about a lot of stuff here. But yeah, there you have it. I will leave all the links in the description or sources. There you have it.